Okay guys, we're getting up to where we're up to in book club. Hopefully within the next 2 videos we'll get there. Hope you're all having a good day and I will see you soon. Maybe. Okay. Rufus, 4:09 a.m. Yo, Mateo is too good. Definitely not suspicious of him anymore. It's not like he's got it in him to jump me. But I'm mad shocked to meet someone so pure. I wouldn't say I've only ever surrounded myself with arseholes, but Malcolm and Tago are never gonna bury a bird in their lives. Let's be real fucking clear about that. Beating down that bastard Peck tonight proves we're not innocent. I'll bet you anything Mateo has no idea how to make a fist and couldn't imagine himself getting violent, not even when he was a kid, and dumb shit was forgiven and written off because he was young. There's no way I'm telling him about Peck. I'll take it to my grave today. We out to see who first? My dad. We can take this subway, Mateo points. It's only 2 stops downtown, but it's safer than walking. 2 stops downtown would be a quick 5-minute bike ride for me, and I'm tempted to just meet him there. But my gut is telling me this Mateo kid will screw up and leave me hanging outside the train station. I carry my bike down the stairs by its handlebars and seat. I roll my bike around the corner while Mateo cautiously hangs back a bit. I catch him peeking before following me, like when I went to that haunted house thing in Brooklyn with Olivia a few years ago, except I was a kid. I don't know what he's expecting to find, and I'm not asking either. You're good, I say. Coast is clear. Mateo creeps behind me, still suspicious of the empty corridor leading to the turnstiles. I wonder how many other deckers are hanging out with strangers right now. A lot are probably dead by now. Car accident or fire or shot or falling down a manhole. He stops himself. Dude really knows how to paint a picture of tragedy. What if they were on their way to say bye to someone close to them and then? Mateo claps. Gone. It's not fair. I hope they weren't alone. We get to the Metro card vending machine. Nope, not fair. I don't think it matters who you're with when you die. Someone's company isn't going to keep you alive once death cast hits you up. This has got to be taboo for a last friend to say. But I'm not wrong. I still feel a little bad when it shuts Mateo up. Deckers get some perks, like free unlimited passes on the subway. You just gotta bother to tell it with some form, but the unlimited party's bullshit because they expire at the end of your end day. A few weeks ago, the Plutos claimed we were dying so we could score free passes for our adventure to Coney Island, thinking the dude would give us a break and let us through, but nah. He had us waiting for confirmation from Deathcast servers, which can take longer than waiting for an express train. So we just bounced. I buy an unlimited Metro card and the non-decker. I still got tomorrow's edition and Mateo copies. We swipe our way into the platform. This could be our last ride for all we know. Mateo points back to the booth. Is it crazy to think that the MTA won't need any station staffers in a few years because machines, maybe even robots, will take over their jobs? It's sort of happening already if you think about it. The roar of the approaching train drowns Mateo out with a little at the end there, but it's fine. I get what he's saying. The real victory here is catching a train instantly. Now we can safely rule out falling onto exposed tracks, getting stuck while rats run by us, and straight chopped up and flattened by the train. Damn, Mateo's grimness is already rubbing off on me. Before the doors open, I can see one of those train takeovers going down. The ones where college kids host parties on trains to celebrate not getting the alert Mateo and I got. Guess dorm parties got old, so they're wilding it out on the subway instead. And we're joining them. Damn it, let's go, I tell Mateo. Then when the doors open, hurry! I rush and wheel my bike in, asking someone to make room for us. And when I turn to make sure my back tyre isn't keeping Mateo from getting in, I see he's not behind me at all. Mateo is standing outside the car, shaking his head, and at the last second before the doors close, he darts into an empty car ahead of mine. One that has sleeping passengers and isn't blasting a remix version of Celebration. It's a classic anthem, but let's retire it already. Look, I don't know why Mateo bitched out, but it's not going to ruin my vibe. It's a party car. I wasn't asking him to go bungee jumping or skydiving. It's far from daredevil territory. We built this city, comes on, and a girl with two handheld stereos hops onto the bench seat to dance. Some dude is hitting on her, but her eyes are closed and she just straight up lost in her moment. In the corner, some dude with a hood over his face is knocked out. Either he's had a really good time or there's a dead decker on the train. Not funny. I lean my bike against the empty bench seat. Yeah, I'm that guy whose bike gets in everyone's way. But I'm also dying, so cut me some slack and step over the sleeping guy's feet to peek into the next car. Mateo is staring into my car like some kid who's grounded and forced to watch his friends play from his bedroom window. I gesture for him to come over, but he shakes his head and stares down at the floor, never looking up at me again. Someone taps my shoulder. I turn and it's this gorgeous, hazel-eyed black girl with extra can of beer in her hand. Want one? Nah, I'm good. I shouldn't be getting buzzed. More for me. I'm Callie. I miss that a little, Kelly. She leans into me, her breast against my chest and her lips against my ear. Callie! Hey, Callie, I'm Rufus, I say back into her ear since she's already here. What are you? My stop is next, Callie interrupts. Want to get off with me? You're cute and seem like a nice guy. She's definitely my type, which means she's also Tago's type. Malcolm's type is any girl who likes him back. But since there isn't much I can offer her besides what she's obviously suggesting, I gotta pass. Having sex with a college girl has gotta be on mad people's bucket lists. Young people, married, dude people, boys, girls, you get it. I've gotta have Mateo's back, and I also have Aimee on the brain. I'm not going to cheat that with something fake like this. Sure you can. I really can't, and it sucks, I say. I'm taking my friend to the hospital to see his dad. Forget you then. Callie turns her back on me and she's talking to another guy within a minute, which is good on her since he actually follows her out of the train. When we come to her stop, maybe Callie and that guy will grow old together and tell their kids how they met at a subway party. But I bet you anything they'll just have sex tonight and he'll call her Kelly in the morning. I take photos of the energy in the car, the guys who managed to get the attention of a beautiful girl, twins dancing together, the crushed beer cans and water bottles, and the freaking life of it all. I put my phone in my pocket and grab my bike and wheel it through the doors between the cars. The ones the overhead announcers are constantly reminding us are for emergencies only. And day or not, that announcement can suck it. The tunnel's air is chill and the train's wheels screeching and screaming on the rails is a sound I won't miss. I enter the next car, but Mateo keeps staring at the floor. I sit beside him and about to go off on him to tell him how I didn't take some older girl's invite to have sex on my last day to live ever because I'm a good last friend. But it's pretty damn obvious he doesn't need that guilt trip. Yo, tell me more about those robots, the ones who are going to take everyone's jobs. Mateo stops looking at the floor for a sec, turning to see if I'm toying with him. And I'm clearly not. I'm mad chill on all this. He grins and rambles so hard. It's going to take a while because evolution is never fast, but the robots are already here. You know that, right? There are robots that can cook dinner for you and unload the dishwasher. You can teach them secret handshakes, which is pretty mind-blowing, and they can solve a Rubik's Cube. I even saw a clip of a break-dancing robot a couple of months ago. But don't you think these robots are on one giant distraction while other robots receive job training at some underground robot headquarters? I mean, why pay someone $20 an hour to give directions when our phones already do that? Or even better, when a robot can't do it for you? We're screwed. Mateo shuts up and is no longer grinning. Buzzkill, right? Yeah, Mateo says. At least you won't have to ever worry about your boss firing you for a robot, I say. That's pretty dark. Bright side, Mateo says. Dude, today is one huge dark bright side. Why'd you bail on the party car? We have no business on that car, Mateo says. What are we celebrating? Dying? I'm not trying to dance with strangers while on my way to say goodbye to my dad and his best friend, knowing damn well there's a chance I may not even reach them. That's just not my scene. And those aren't my people. It's just a party. The train stops and he doesn't respond. It's possible Mateo, not being a daredevil, will keep us alive longer, but I'm not banking on it being a memorable end day. Aimee Dubois, 4:17 a.m. Deathcast did not call Aimee Dubois because she isn't dying today. She's losing Rufus. Lost him already because of her boyfriend. Aimee is speed walking home, followed by Peck. You're a monster. What kind of person tries to get someone arrested at their own funeral? I got jumped by 3 guys. Malcolm and Tago didn't touch you, and now they're going to jail. Peck spits. They ran their mouths off. That's not on me. You have to leave me alone. I know you never liked Rufus, and he didn't give you any reason to, but he's still really important to me. I always wanted him to be in the picture, and now he won't be. And I had even less time with him because of you. If I can't see him, I don't want to see you either. You ending it with me? Aimee stops. She doesn't want to turn Peck's way because she hasn't considered this question yet. People make mistakes. Rufus made a mistake attacking Peck. Peck shouldn't have had his friends send the police after Rufus, but he wasn't wrong to have done so. Well, legally, no. Morally, hell yes. You keep putting him before me, Peck says. I'm the one you've been coming to for all your problems, not the guy who almost killed me. I'll let you think on that. Aimee stares at Peck. He's a white teen with low-hanging jeans and baggy sweater, sees a cut and dry blood on his face because he's dating her. Peck walks away and Aimee lets him. She doesn't know where she stands with Peck in this world of grey, and she's not quite sure where she stands with herself either. Mateo, 4:26 a.m. I'm failing to break out. I couldn't surround myself with more strangers. They were harmless for the most part. The only red flag, how I don't want to be around people who get so drunk they pass out and eventually black out the nights they're lucky to be living. But I wasn't honest with Rufus because on a deep level I do believe partying on a train is my kind of scene. It's just that the fear of disappointing others or making a fool of myself always wins. I'm actually surprised Rufus is chaining his bike to a gate and following me into the hospital. We walk up to the front desk and a red-eyed clerk smiles at me but doesn't actually ask how he can help me. Hi, I'd like to see my father. Mateo Torres in intensive care. I pull out my ID and slide it across the glass counter to Jared. His name tag pinned to his sky blue scrubs reads, Visiting hours ended at 9, I'm afraid. I won't be long, I promise. I can't leave without saying goodbye. It's not happening tonight, kid, Jared says, the smile still there except for a little more unnerving. Visiting hours resume at 9 to 9. Catch you, right? Okay, I say. He's dying, Rufus says. Your father is dying, Jared asks me, the bizarre smile of someone working a 4-hour in the morning shift finally gone. No, Rufus grabs my shoulder and squeezes. He's dying. Do him a solid and let him upstairs to say goodbye to his father. Jared doesn't look as if he particularly appreciates being spoken to this way, and I'm not a fan of it myself, but who knows where I would be without Rufus to speak up for me. I actually know where I'd be, outside this hospital, probably crying and holed up for somewhere hoping I can make it to 9. Hell, I'd probably still be at home playing video games or trying to talk myself into getting out of the apartment. Your father is in a coma, Jared says, looking up from his computer. Rufus's eyes widen, like his mind has been blown. Whoa, did you know that? I know that. Seriously, if it's not his first week on the job, Jared's got to be on some 40-hour shift. I still want to say goodbye. Jared gets his act together and stops questioning me. I get his initial resistance. Rules are rules, but I'm happy when he doesn't drag this out any longer by asking me for proof. He takes photos of us, prints out our visitor passes, and hands the passes to me. Sorry about all this, and, his condolences were hardly there. Are way more appreciated than the ones I received from Andrea at Deathcast. We walk towards the elevator. Did you also want to punch the smile off his face, Rufus asks. No, it's the first time Rufus and I have spoken to each other since getting out of the train station. I press the visitor pass across my shirt, making sure it sticks with a couple of pats. But thanks for getting us in here. I would have never played the deck of cards myself. No problem. We have zero time for could've, would've, should've, Rufus says. I push the elevator button. I'm sorry, I didn't join in the party car. Don't need to apologise. If you're fine with your decision, that's on you. He walks away from the elevator and towards the staircase. I'm not cool with us riding the elevator though, so let's do this. Right, I forgot. It's probably better to leave the elevators available to the nurses and doctors and patients at this time of night anyway. I follow Rufus up the stairs and it's only the second floor. But I'm already out of breath. Really, maybe there's something physically wrong with me and maybe I'll die here on these steps before I can reach Dad or Lydia or future Mateo. Rufus gets impatient and sprints up, sometimes even skipping 2 steps at a time. On the 5th floor, Rufus calls down to me. I hope you're serious about opening yourself up to new experiences though. Doesn't have to be something like the party car. I feel ballsier once I've said my goodbyes, I say. Respect, Rufus says. I trip up the steps, landing flat on the 6th floor. I take a deep breath as Rufus comes back down to help me. That was such a kid fall, I say. Rufus shrugs. Better fall forward than backward. We continue to the 8th floor. The waiting area is straight ahead, with vending machine and peach-coloured couch between the folding chairs. Would you mind waiting out here? I sort of want a one-on-one time with him. Respect, Rufus says again. I push open the blue double doors and walk through intensive care. It's quiet except for some light chatter and beeping machines. I watched this 30-minute documentary on Netflix a couple of years ago about how much hospitals have changed since Deathcast came into the picture. Doctors work closely with Deathcast, obviously receiving instant updates about their terminal patients who have signed off on this agreement. When the alert comes in, nurses dial back on life support for their patients, prepping them for a comfortable death. Instead, with last meals, phone calls to families, funeral arrangements, getting wills in order, priests for prayers and confessions, and whatever else they can reasonably supply. Dad has been here for almost 2 weeks. He was brought in right after his first embolic stroke at work. I freaked out really hard, and before I went ahead and signed off on Dad's contact information being uploaded into the hospital's database, I spent the night of his admittance praying his cell phone wouldn't ring. Now I'm finally free of anxiety that Dr. Quintana might call to notify me that Dad was going to die, and it's good to know Dad has at least another day in him, hopefully way more than one. I show a nurse my visitor pass and bullet straight into Dad's room. He is very still as machines are breathing for him. I'm close to breaking down because my dad might wake up to a world without me and I won't be around to comfort him. But I don't break. I sit down beside him, sliding my hand under his. The rest my head on our hands. The last time I cried was the first night at hospital, when things were looking really grim. As we approach midnight, but I don't break down. I sit down beside him, sliding my hand under his, and rest my head on our hands. The last time I cried was the first night at the hospital, when things were looking really grim as we approached midnight. I swore he was minutes away from death. I hate to admit it, but I'm a little frustrated. Dad is not awake right now. He was there when my mother brought me into this life and when she left us, and he should be here for me now. Everything is going to change for him without me. No more dinners where instead of telling me about his day, he would go on remembering the trials my mother put him through before she finally agreed to marry him, and how the love they shared was worth it while it lasted. He'll have to put away the invisible pad he would whip out whenever I said something stupid as a promise to embarrass me in front of my future children, even though I never really saw kids as part of my future, and he'll stop being a father. At least won't have anyone to parent. I release Dad's hand and grab a pen that's on the bedside chest of drawers, pull out our photo and write on the back of it with an unsteady hand. Thank you for everything, Dad. I'll be brave and I'll be okay. I love you from here to there, Mateo. I leave the photo on the top of the chest. Someone knocks on the door. I turn, expecting Rufus, but it's Dad's nurse, Elizabeth. Elizabeth has been taking care of Dad during the night shift, and she's always so patient with me whenever I call the hospital for updates. Mateo, she eyes me mournfully. She must know. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm sorry to interrupt. How are you feeling? Would you like me to call down to the cafeteria and see if they've put Jello out yet? Yeah, she definitely knows. No, thank you. I focus on Dad again and how vulnerable he is still. How's he doing? Stable, nothing for you to worry about. He's in good hands, Mateo. I know. I tap my fingers on Dad's chest of drawers where his house keys, wallet and clothes are. I know I have to say goodbye. Never mind that Rufus is out there waiting for me. Dad never would have wanted me spending my end day in his room, even if he were awake. You know about me, right? It isn't fair. I don't want to leave. Yes, Elizabeth covers Dad's skinny body with her new sheet. It isn't fair. I don't want to leave without hearing his voice. Elizabeth is on the opposite side of the bed, her back to the window, while mine is toward the door. Can you tell me a little bit about him? I've been taking care of him for a couple of weeks, and all I know about his personal life is he wears mismatched socks and has a great son. I hope Elizabeth isn't asking this because she doesn't think Dad will wake up to tell her himself. I don't want Dad dying soon after I do. He once told me stories can make someone immortal as long as someone else is willing to listen. I want him to keep me alive the same way he did my mother. Dad loves creating lists. He wanted me to start a blog for his lists. He thought we'd become rich and famous and that commenters would request special lists. He even believed he'd finally get on TV because of the list. Appearing on TV as he'd been in a dream has been a dream of his since he was a kid. I never had the heart to tell him his lists weren't that funny, but I like seeing how his mind works, so I was happy whenever he gave me a new one to read. He was really a great storyteller. It sometimes feels like whiplash, like I was walking on the Coney Island beach with him where he proposed to my mother the first time. The first time, Rufus, I turn and find him standing in the doorway. Sorry to eavesdrop, I was just checking on you. Don't worry about it, come in, I say. Elizabeth, this is Rufus. He's my last friend. I hope he's actually telling the truth. How he wanted to see how I was doing, and not that he's here to say goodbye and suggest we go our separate ways. Rufus leans against the wall with his folded arms. So, this proposal. My mother turned him down twice. He said she liked playing hard to get. Then she found out she was pregnant with me, and he got down on his knee in the bathroom, and she smiled and said yes. I really liked that moment. I know I wasn't there, but the memory I've created in my head over the years is crystal clear. I don't know exactly what the bathroom looked like since it was in their first shoebox-sized apartment, but Dad always commented on how the walls were a muted gold, which I always took to mean aged yellow, and he said the floor tiles were checkered. And then there's my mother, who comes alive for me in his stories. In this particular one, she's laughing and crying about making sure I'm not brought into this world a bastard because of her family's traditions. It never would have mattered to me in the long run. The whole bastard thing is stupid. Sweetie, I wish I could wake you up for you. I really do. Too bad life doesn't allow us to turn its gears like a clock when we need more time. Can I have 10 minutes alone? I think I know how I can say bye. Take your time, dude, Rufus says. It's surprising and generous. No, I say. Give me 10 minutes and come and get me. Rufus nods. You got it. Elizabeth rests her hand on my shoulder. I'll be out by the front desk if you need anything. Elizabeth and Rufus leave. The door closes behind them. I hold Dad's hand. It's time I tell you a story for once. You were always asking me, begging me sometimes to tell you more about my life and how my day was, and I always shut down. But talking is all we've got now, and I'm crossing my fingers and toes and unmentionables that you can hear me. I grip his hand, wishing he'd squeeze back. Dad, I was raised to be honest, but the truth can be complicated. It doesn't matter if the truth won't make a mess. Sometimes the words don't come out until you're alone. Even that's not guaranteed. Sometimes the truth is a secret you're keeping from yourself because living a lie is easier. I hum. Take This Waltz by the late Leonard Cohen. One of those songs that never apply to me but help me lose myself anyway. I sing the lyrics, I do remember, stumbling over some words and repeating others, out of place. but it's a song Dad loved, and I hope he hears me singing it since he can't. And that's where we're going to stop today. We will come back to Rufus for the next video. Alright, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Bye.